My girlfriend of 4 years has recently become obsessed with a male streamer and I feel really uncomfortable about it.
Don't worry, nothing bad is going to happen.
A post made on the subreddit r/relationship advice around the end of 2020. What was particularly shocking here is that barely just a few days after making that initial post, he'd end up breaking up with his girlfriend. Her obsession with that streamer was that irrational.
Damn.
And during that time, she wasn't the only one who might have felt this way. That's because the male streamer in question here was none other than Sykkuno, a name and face that had become a core memory of the COVID-19 pandemic, more specifically when everyone was locked up in their homes. In the span of less than a year, he would go from having 1,000 average viewers on Twitch to
40,000,
50,000, even having a stream where he peaked at over 100,000 concurrent viewers. What he'd be most known for was his gameplay of Among Us with his friends, who happened to be very big content creators as well. Not only would he get tens of thousands of concurrent viewers on Twitch, but he would get millions upon millions of views on his YouTube channel as well. And while his rise to fame is definitely incredibly impressive, what was truly unparalleled here is his extremely high ratio of female viewers.
So, to put this into perspective, my ratio of female viewers is like 5%. And besides the Johnny Depp trial era, this is the highest that it's ever been. We are actually peaking right now for female viewers. Because before, that used to be how many female viewers I had.
To having been higher than any of his other content creator friends. His handsome look, his anime-sounding voice, and his witty jokes made women go rabid. In fact, there was also a joke that he would turn male fans gay. But what made him really desirable is just how socially awkward he was. He was innocent in an endearing way. He was a boy failure that needed a woman to fix him.
A boy failure? Is that right?
In a nutshell, he was this picture, almost allergic to other women. He just couldn't handle anything romantic. He would get too flustered. This made many of his fans want to be the one to finally fix him. But
Jesus Christ. This dirty dog, bro. Playing this game, and then he just has a fucking he has a roster, and it's just the Twitch top 200 streamer list. Jesus, man, what a guy. Who is this?
Make no mistake,
this is insane.
This was all a perfectly crafted image that he had made for himself. He wanted you to think that he was innocent, naive, a boy failure, someone who's inexperienced in relationships and would never hurt a fly. Because in reality, behind this mirage, this illusion, there was a master manipulator, a serial cheater, and a predator. Someone who would make it a point.
I do think that the word predator is completely inappropriate. I do. I think that a serial cheater, man whore, fuckboy is not a predator. I think that we should reserve the term predator for whenever people don't respect consent, and for whenever people are aggressive physically and they take advantage of people. Like in a physical way. I think that we are downplaying and we are softening the word predator. Predator should be it should be for weirdos that are trying to meet up with underage girls. It should be for people that commit sexual assault. And it should be for people that are like, do not respect consent, period. I do not think that somebody just being a man whore fuckboy I don't think that it's not the right thing to do to categorize somebody like that as a predator. I think it's wrong. Personally.
Many years to target smaller content creators, take full advantage of the fact that he was one of the most desirable.
Epstein and Diddy are predators. Sykkuno is not a predator. Like, that's crazy.
Men in the streaming world, all are making it seem like he had no experience with women and that it just might be romantic. They just might be that special someone who can fix him. What he would somehow forget to tell them, though, is that he had been in a monogamous relationship since 2021. But you don't have to take my word for it, because he admits to everything in a recorded voice call with the victim herself.
Which one?
On top of that, that same victim, who goes by the name of Hemamal VT, would choose to write a Google Doc that shows the entire timeline, her and Sykkuno's DMs together, as well as the DMs of another victim.
I'm boarding now. See you soon. You have the hotel. Bro, he bought her a hotel. Oh my god. Dude, if you're a girl and a guy's flying you in and you're not staying at his house, you are a side piece. You are. The odds are is he has another girl on the hook, and that's what escorts do. Okay? And oh, by the way, that's the politically correct term. That's what hookers do.
They slept with Sykkuno while being totally oblivious to the fact that he has been in a relationship since 2021. This might be one of the most impactful and longest running lies in content creation history. I want to thank the two victims in question for trusting me with this very heavy topic and for allowing me to make the first comprehensive video on it.
Yeah, bro, he dabbing her up with the money. Yeah, that's right.
Without further ado, let's get right into this mess. All right, so first off, who the hell is Sykkuno?
Dude, you have to use this photo of him? Dude, why do you have... This is like the worst photo of the guy you can use. Come on.
Sykkuno. Well, before starting his streaming career, he actually used to be a software engineer working in the Bay Area of California.
And now he's a social engineer.
Monotonous office life would change forever, though, when he would meet Lily Pichu, a well-known content creator who actually started making content as far back as 2012. Yeah. However, when they met, she was far from being the very well-known content creator that we know today. It was back during the Season 3 World Championship for League of Legends during the year of 2013.
I love how everything in that friend group is like, it's around, like, I don't know, when Season 3 League, like, is that the way people feel like whenever I say, I don't remember what year it was, but it was during Cataclysm? Like, I don't know when the fuck this happened.
So barely a year into her content creator journey, Sykkuno would be aware of her content. He'd reach out to her and would want to meet her, seeing that they're both at the same place. Okay. Lily Pichu agreed, thinking, oh, am I about to meet a fan? That's awesome. She'd be absolutely shocked when that fan would show up with a massive bouquet of flowers.
What a fucking G. Man. Damn. Damn, bro. He just... The thing is that every other guy that does this is a loser. He's not a loser because it worked.
As she was about to thank him, he would run away back to his cousins. According to him, these were his only friends at the time. He was that lonely. He was simply too embarrassed to interact with her further. This interaction left a good impression on Lily Pichu, and they kept in touch for years to come. In fact, as she would start her streaming journey, she'd play with her friends, and one of those friends would be Sykkuno. Her viewers would...
Dude. I gotta tell Cody about this. I do. Because, like, honestly, like, this is really impressive.
Start to express interest in him, especially seeing that his voice sounded like an anime character. There was genuine demand in her community to know what he looked like. What they didn't know, though, was that Lily Pichu had already shown him. He was there with her when she went to Summoners Con 2015, and he was right there with her in her vlog. But most of her community were simply not aware of this. So seeing that there was growing demand to see what he looked like, they decided to do a face reveal live on Lily Pichu's stream around the year of 2019.
Yeah. You're such a... Oh, okay, here we go. Wait, you're actually so much braver than I thought.
Only because you're here.
Wow. Bro. This guy needs to do a course. He does. Love of the game, bro. This is a generational, like, this is insane. No notes, yeah, bro. Like, he just went in there and did it live. Immaculate.
All right, I'm ending stream.
And as you can see, the chat was definitely not disappointed. In fact, Lily Pichu had such an impact on Sykkuno that she would be, well, the main reason why he would start streaming.
Wow.
And you can hear him say that himself.
So what convinced you to start streaming?
Oh, Lily, actually.
And speaking of streaming, he would start doing so shortly after revealing his face on Lily Pichu's stream. He'd start in the beginning of 2019 with barely under 100 viewers, but as the months would go by, he would start to get very rapid growth. He would really start putting in serious hours by August 2019, and within just 1 year, by August 2020, he'd be sitting at 8,000 average viewers, reaching a peak of 15,000. But how? Why? Well, during his streams, he would continue playing with Lily Pichu. And seeing that Lily Pichu has a lot of big content creators that she calls friends, she would introduce them to Sykkuno. It turned out that this guy was very easy to talk to. He was witty, he made jokes, and the communities of the many streamers actually enjoyed his company. All of these factors combined would be the perfect catalyst for when the quarantine season of COVID-19 would arrive. He would start to play the game Among Us with some of the biggest content creators on the planet, and within just 4 months, he would go from 8,000 average viewers all the way up to 50,000 average viewers.
And this happens for a lot of people. Is like you get to that critical mass and you pop off like crazy. Like if you look at a lot of people's graphs, this is very, very common.
At 100,000 viewers in one stream. He was gaining 500,000 followers every single month. In just the span of like a year and a half, he had gone from being a mid-tier streamer to one of the biggest on the entire platform. It wasn't just Twitch though. He would be getting millions upon millions of views
4 million
on his YouTube videos as well. He was killing it on every single platform he was on. And so by 2022, when YouTube was aggressively recruiting Twitch streamers to stream on their platforms instead, offering them multi-million-dollar deals, they targeted Sykkuno, seeing that he's extremely brand friendly, has a very loyal audience, and had become a household name in such a short time. So on May 2nd, 2022, he would announce to the world that he was moving to YouTube on a 2-year exclusive contract. And as you can tell by the engagement, this post went viral. What I really want you to understand, though, is just how valuable he was seen by companies and platforms. Back when YouTube was aggressively recruiting talents that were on Twitch, and their...
So he locked in... So, oh my God. Like, he just basically made, like, you know what this is like? This is like doing, like, his career is like doing a second playthrough of an RPG. It's like, you know, whenever Captain America went back in time to, like, get the thing, and he's like, yeah, Hail Hydra, and they're like, oh, fuck, right? He just knew exactly what thing to say, what thing to do. Oh, man. He knew.
Confidence and hubris, seeing that they completely dominated.
He was on New Game Plus.
They would never bother offering a counter offer. On the very rare occasion that they did, it was a very big deal. And guess what? They made an exception to Sykkuno. They gave him a counter offer higher than YouTube. Sykkuno would go back to YouTube and show them Twitch's new offer, and YouTube would offer to pay even more. His contract alone is estimated to be around $5 million. Sykkuno.
That's it? There's no way it was only $5 million. What are you talking about, $5 million? Like, he should have gotten, like, they should have given him, like, 15. Like, I'd say, like 10. Like, if like, he was at 50K at that time, it should have been, like, 10 or 15 at least. For only 2 years? Yeah. I know these things.
Though also had interests in other communities such as VTubers. In 2023, for an April Fool's joke, he would debut his first VTuber model, extending his reach to a new niche community. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because at some point he was invited to a call with the senator.
Dude, look at Austin wearing, oh my God, wearing a fucking suit. It's like, okay, I've got to really move on past this Raj thing, okay? I'm going to wear a suit. We're going to talk to Bernie Sanders. I'm going to be a real guy now, all right? Yeah, I'm wearing a suit. Oh, jeez, with the turtleneck. I know.
Bernie Sanders alongside Valkyrie and Pokimane. And instead of showing his face, he chose to be
Bernie Sanders.
This was so ridiculous, and it went so viral that he inadvertently kind of became a spokesperson for VTubing in one stream. I mean, God, everyone wanted a piece of that guy. You would see him everywhere, collabing with everyone. And this was partly due to his very loyal and almost rabid fan base. But it was, of course, all by design. You see, back in 2023, Pokimane would make the very interesting revelation that Sykkuno had the highest female demographic fan base compared to any other streamer, her included. She would compare his level of fame and the way his fans acted towards him to K-pop idols. He simply wasn't seen like the run-of-the-mill Twitch streamer. No, there was definitely more to this. And one of the main reasons why this worked out so well is because he was seen as a boy failure. No, not the kind of guy who's unemployed and lives in a dump and smells like shit. I'm talking about...
Yeah, I know, guys.
The ideal boy failure. The guy who's handsome, smells nice, doesn't live in a dump, but is instead just a hopeless romantic. Someone who turns...
The most important thing for girls with like this whole boy failure thing is the idea that he's not talking to like 10 other girls. Because that's the idea is that I'm seeing in this guy what nobody else is seeing, and he will become a better person. You have to keep in mind that, like, oh, geez, guys, okay, I'm gonna say it. Almost every single female romance fantasy is in one way or another basically an ego trip. Right? Where it's like this guy is this like goofy, weird loser, but he's going to become this amazing, cool Giga Chad because I'm special, because I'm the important one and I'm different and I can fix him. And that's it. And it doesn't matter whether it's 50 Shades of Grey. Oh, yeah, this multi-billionaire, super successful, really attractive guy. And I'm just this girl that works at a coffee shop, but he knows that I'm special. Basically, I'm special is somewhere. Every single time. Or milking a Minotaur. Well, yeah, but those Minotaurs are like rich or something, right? Or they have like a massive dick or something. There's something special that makes them special. That's the reason why.
All red when you want to initiate physical contact. The most innocent, naive soul imaginable. The appeal of a boy failure isn't necessarily that he's a failure. It's the fact that...
The appeal of a boy failure is a lack of competition.
He's perfect, but just needs one person to fix him. And that's how a significant chunk of his fan base felt. If you've watched my channel before, then it's not too different from a girl failure that has a male audience that wants to fix her. It's the same parasocial mess. This can be very easily seen in some of the most viral fan-made videos of Sykkuno, like this one, for example, setting at over 3 million views. Sykkuno tells his trauma about girls. Sykkuno trusts his friend, Disguised Toast, more than the girls. So this guy had barely any romantic experience, and yet still, he had his heart...
It's projection. We just didn't know it.
Broken. He needs a woman that will fix him and tell him it'll be okay. And maybe she'll be one of his fans. If only he knew how handsome and amazingly desirable he was, though. Because he's another fan-made video. Everyone's simping for Sykkuno because who doesn't? I mean, God, if only he wasn't a boy failure and understood how smooth he was with women. But he's too naive. Because guess what? This video sitting at over 4 minutes.
The title of the video is Sykkuno being smooth with girls for 14 minutes. I'm surprised it was only 14 minutes.
Sykkuno being smooth with girls for 14 minutes. I think you get the point by now, right?
Yeah.
This image of him that was so carefully crafted would attract a very large female audience. It would also allow him to be one of the only male streamers to constantly be able to hang out with a majoritarily female friend group without him or them getting in trouble with their fan bases due to jealousy. The guy was innocent, allergic to love, and he wouldn't hurt a single fly. This allowed him to do things that other male content creators could never do. Like, dude, this is him sniffing the armpit of Fuslie at some point during a podcast when they were talking about body odor. This is how much he was trusted around women. And even though his audience was very obsessed over him, they saw him as so awkward. So
let's go to the next frame.
What love
let's
or
go to the next. Can we
social
please
cues
go to
mean,
the next
that
frame?
This was fine. They didn't mind.
I get it.
They were going to be the ones to fix
I
him
understand
anyway.
it.
So it comes as no surprise that yes, some relationships literally ended over the girl's obsession over him.
Man,
hell, I wouldn't be surprised if some gay relationships ended because of the same reason too.
No, there's girls that get upset about that with guys, right? That like, oh, my boyfriend keeps donating to this streamer. Should I be worried? And then update, we broke up.
Was just that much of a sensation.
Of course.
And that crafted image he built around himself was just so believable and convincing. Yeah. And so he'd keep on doing what he's always done.
Sykkuno
and after his 2-year contract with YouTube would finally end during May 2024, he would make his grand comeback to Twitch, peaking at over 26,000 viewers. However, his viewer count would slowly begin to drift. And by April 20...
To be fair, it was already going down. It was already going down. Like, I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, it was already flopping out. And again, a lot, like, the overwhelming majority, like, I can count on probably 2, if not 1 hand, the amount of streamers that have maintained relevance for more than, like, 5 years. It's almost impossible to do that. Like, almost nobody can do this. The break didn't help? Well, no, what I'm saying is that, like, you can see that, like, it was going down even whenever he was streaming regularly.
2026, he'd be sitting at 1,665 average viewers, a far cry from the peak of the pandemic back at 50,000. He'd also stopped collabing with larger content creators as much as he used to, mostly sticking to himself.
Yep, you guys know
But
it.
hell, I mean, 1,600 average viewers is still very easy to make a living off of. He had made his millions of dollars, had this incredibly obsessive fan base. As far as content creator careers go, this really wasn't so bad. The guy was a multimillionaire. What people weren't aware of, though, is that for many years since becoming a viral sensation, he would use his status as Sykkuno, as the most desirable streamer imaginable, as this K-pop idol, to pursue relationships with smaller or up-and-coming content creators, whether they be cosplayers or VTubers, manipulating them into thinking that they were special, all in the hopes of hooking up with them and while being in a monogamous relationship. This is the real Sykkuno.
And this is the real Sykkuno. The software engineer changed into social engineer, farming these girls on a roster. This is insane. Yeah, and by the way, I hope that the guy that makes this video knows this. A lot of streamers do this. It's very common. It's not just him.
Now, we finally have proof. Hemamal VT, who I'll refer to as Mal from now on, is someone who has been making content for the last year. She occasionally streams from time to time, but also tends to post cosplays on her Twitter profile, some of them being revealing. Those revealing cosplays would catch Sykkuno's attention, and he'd follow her on Valentine's Day of 2026. Within barely a few days, he would start talking about how they should move in together into the same house. All while
Dude, so smart. Yep.
Having a girlfriend.
That's
when Mal
right.
would find out about the girlfriend, she would decide to write a Google document.
That's right.
The Google document would contain...
And keep in mind that, you know, again, like, maybe he did something wrong, I don't know, but she's mad that he didn't pick her, right? I mean, that's the reason why. Fishing where the fish are at, bro? Yeah, exactly.
Mal's side of the story, as well as Elfie Leah's side.
Why is he talking like she wasn't messaging Sykkuno first?
Of course, also posts cosplays from time to time, which is why Sykkuno was interested in her to begin with.
Yeah.
She also had no idea that Sykkuno had a girlfriend, and would meet up with him during December 2025 in Paris when he would travel for a convention. Unlike Mal, though, she would actually end up sleeping with Sykkuno, again, completely oblivious that he has a girlfriend. They would both share their stories and the DMs.
I mean, guys... Just let him live, man. Like, that's not a big deal. Like, I'm sorry, but like, consensual sex between two adults and it's cheating, like that's on like this scale. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm desensitized from the Epstein files, okay? But when I hear that, I think, okay. How old? Yeah, she's an adult. Like, what are we doing?
Sykkuno.
Let him fly free. Yeah.
This document would be 32 pages long, and it would detail...
You got side-pieced and you wrote a 32-page book about it? Really? Jeez.
Both of their experiences with Sykkuno, leading up to the revelation of the fact that he has a girlfriend, as well as a link to the full 17-minute YouTube video in which Mal would confront Sykkuno about cheating on his girlfriend with her. Here's how it would start off. On Valentine's Day of this year, I was followed on Twitter by Sykkuno. I thought it was amazing that such a big content creator even knew I existed, let alone followed me on social media. He had been my role model, and someone I looked up to for a long time, ever since my days in high school.
I hate this framing, because this framing like almost creates like an underage predator vibe. No, you're an adult, and I don't know if she's even a teenager. Like, maybe she is, maybe she don't, I have no idea. What are you doing saying this? Like, it's a little bit of stolen valor, right? I mean, there are people that are really, you know, get 19. Okay, 19.
However,
still, I mean, you're not even 18, right? It's literally over a year.
Learned about Sykkuno after that day would make me regret my decision. Sykkuno is not the kind, soft-spoken character you see on stream.
No way.
He is a serial cheater, liar, and manipulator who uses his status to get what he wants from as many women as possible.
This is the best advertisement for streaming on Twitch as a guy that you could ever have.
Specifically, ones who are smaller or up-and-coming content creators, knowing that he can take advantage of them. After confiding in many others that have had similar experiences with Sykkuno, I realized that this was not an isolated incident. In fact, it was something that had been going on for multiple years. He always made sure to cover his tracks and never left a paper trail significant enough for someone to make this public. But now, this has all changed. These are serious allegations, and I fully understand that this should not be treated lightly. I urge all other content creators who have been personally affected by Sykkuno's behavior to not remain silent, as I believe that there is strength in numbers. This document will not only include proof from me, but
it's easier to count the amount of girls that he wasn't DMing. I think that number right now is 0.
Another victim who has given me her consent as well. Below, you will find evidence that will expose this calculated pattern of love bombing and manipulation, as well as a recording of a voice call where he
I have to say that whenever I hear the word love bombing, and I hear that this is in page 1 of the accusation document, my oh no meter goes down.
Explicitly admits to all his wrongdoings, everything. All right, so already this is one hell of an intro to the document, right? One thing I want to point out is the urging of all other content creators who have been personally affected by Sykkuno to come out about this. As I had already mentioned, there are many people who were affected by his actions throughout the years. In fact, if Sykkuno traveled to any expo or convention or event...
anywhere he traveled, just assume.
Then you can bet a hefty sum of money that he always had someone there who he flew out, hoping that he could bring them to his hotel room.
Of course.
Anyway, the next section of the document would be titled, Our First Conversation. After Valentine's Day, I was so excited about him following me that I told a friend who then urged me to strike up a conversation. I finally worked up the courage to send him a DM, and he replied right away. So here we can see on the 15th of February, Mal would send, "Are you still looking for a Valentine's date, perhaps?" To which Sykkuno would say, so innocently, "What? You can't just open up with something like that? And besides..."
So this girl DMs him.
"Besides, Valentine's Day's almost over where I'm from already." To which she would reply with, "I mean, we can always do a Valentine's Day do-over, you know?" In the same first conversation, he brought up what kind of games he liked to play and invited me to play with him after a convention. On the left image, we can see them discussing sleep schedules, right? Understanding what time it is for her, what time it is for him. And on the right image, we can see him say, "What games do you like to play? I'm like a massive game player. That's usually how I meet people or make friends, to be honest." In the next couple of images, we can see Sykkuno talk about the game he was playing, which was Outlast Trials, saying that maybe Mal could carry him. She would agree, give him her Discord, and then wonder, "Hey, are you done soon with your stream? Because I'm getting tired." She hadn't slept all night. She was pulling an all-nighter. He'd apologize for taking so long, and then he'd say that he has a convention to go to. So after making her wait for like a few hours, he would say, "Hey, listen, can we just play tomorrow? I have a convention to go to." And they would agree, "Okay, let's play after the convention." This is what...
Damn, bro. He had her... Dude. So he was just... Yeah. He got her on the hook. So the thing is that this guy is such an elite level fuckboy that I think it's possible that he knew he wasn't going to hang out with her that day, and he did that to make her feel like she had to work harder to get his attention. Like, he, on that level, like, this is something that, like, this is a low level, like, a low level person would never do this. But this guy is on that level that he would actually make a play that way. He would. I could see that happen.
Would lead us to the next section.
Or another girl that
Interest
night?
in where I live. For context, this is still the same day as the first conversation. Only moved to Discord in a few hours apart since I'm EU time zone and he's US time zone. So yeah, these DMs have the timestamp of 10 a.m. EU time. The last DMs we can see on Twitter were at 9 a.m. So this is barely an hour later after they added each other. Mal would continue by saying, "Things started out innocently enough with him inquiring about fun things to do near where I live, such as aquariums and conventions. TwitchCon EU specifically. I'd like to point out that I said we could go on a date to make up for
ABC, always be closing.
Valentine's. He not once expressed to me any discomfort or that he wasn't single." So yeah, this is how it goes. If someone expresses interest in you, right, you typically tell them fairly quickly that you're already in a committed relationship. You don't just let things slide.
We could make it a date, you know, to make up for Valentine's Day. So she came on to him, and then he... Okay.
Mal had no reason to think that Sykkuno was already taken. Otherwise, he would have said something after
because
she
he's
proposed
cheating.
Duh!
Duh!
She asked, do they have an aquarium? I'm a big fan of aquariums.
I thought this was established.
This artist in Amsterdam could make it a date, to make up for Valentine's. He'd only reply with, "A what? Lol?" Continuing on with his innocent persona, but he'd never say, "Oh no, actually, wait, like I want to meet up as friends. I'm actually
wait
in a
minute,
relationship."
wait,
Not
where
one.
is this?
The next section will be titled "Following My Private Instagram."
Oh,
he would also follow my
in.
personal private Instagram that is only available to my IRL friends and family while using his official Sykkuno account. So here we can see an image of Sykkuno following her with her personal account name being hidden since it's personal.
Man.
The next section will be titled "Making Plans to Meet Me in Person." So bear in mind, this was the next day, okay, the 16th of February. They had started talking on the 15th. He followed her on the 14th. The document would say, in this 2-hour Discord gaming call, the same day as our first conversation, Sykkuno made plans to meet me IRL. It was set to be the same weekend as Dokumi 2026 since he was flying over anyway to attend TwitchCon EU. Going to the aquarium would be our first date. I also learned that there is a 15-year age gap between us. Right, so look,
couldn't you just look that up on Google? Like, I mean, really, like, his age was very well known. I mean, what did she think he was, like 25? Like a 2-day closer? Yeah, bro, this guy locked in within like, dude, a day and a half. Man.
Personally spoke to the victim about this. I asked, like,
she approached him.
Usually have been like a red flag or a turnoff. She said yes. But the thing is,
I mean, a 15-year age gap. I think that it's going to be hard for you to have a lot in common with a girl that you're 15 years older than. But if you want to look at it from like a morality perspective, I couldn't give a fuck. She's an adult. You're an adult. I can be judgmental about it, and I will be. But I don't really care. I'm sorry. Like, I think it's a little bit weird, right? But both of them are consenting adults. That's it. I mean, you're so stupid girl logic. You're an adult. Yeah, exactly. Like, Cope, you're still into the same shit you were into 15 years ago. I am, and I think that. Listen, I still feel like I'm 17 until I talk to a 17-year-old, and then I realize, nope, you're 35.
This is Sykkuno we're talking about here, right? So she made an exception. Because as you saw in the intro of this document, she used to watch him in high school. She genuinely looked up to him. To say that she was starstruck was an understatement. And that's exactly what he was counting on. Now, while keeping that 15-year age gap in mind, this next section definitely hits different.
Which there's nothing wrong with, by the way, at all. Nothing wrong with it.
It's titled, Making Plans to Move In Together. These messages would be on the 17th of February, 2 days after they started talking. It would say, with Sykkuno, our relationship moved so incredibly fast it almost felt like a dream. It was like he could make anything I wanted happen. And as someone as prolific and successful as him, I had no reason to doubt anything he said to me. These screenshots show...
Again, playing into the 50 Shades of Grey, I'm just this random girl, and this super famous, really popular guy knows how special I am, and he wants to be with me. That's it. And again, how many people do you think he tried this with? How many hundreds of people do you think he tried this with?
That Sykkuno and I were intending to adopt a cat and have me possibly move into his house. I told him we couldn't get a cat yet due to me not being a US citizen and possibly having visa issues. Keep in mind, this conversation happened 2 days after the first conversation. So in this first image of these set of DMs, we can see them talking about pets in general, right? About how he might be allergic to certain pets, about how his current dog doesn't trigger his allergies. So they start discussing the prospect of getting a cat. Mal would say, I mean, if I'm there anyways, we'll have to think of a name, no? To which Sykkuno would say, yeah, but I don't know if I can take care of it myself. Mal would say, or were you just going to name...
I don't know if I can take care of it, dude. He's got to do a course, man. This is good. What a champion, man. Man. It's a Riz. I know. Well, how old's the girl? She's like 19 or something like that. Yeah. It's like the alchemy of hooking up. Yeah, this is so good. A full breakdown. Yeah, and the thing is that, so this is the reason why he does that, right? And so this is a way that you can take advantage of this psychology, right? Is that you can say that to a girl and it like triggers and again, it sounds extremely misogynistic and sexist. Why is that? Because it is. So it triggers like the nurturing, like, oh, well, we're going to have a future together. And like, if you tell a girl that, oftentimes she will ignore or tell herself to ignore other red flags instead of that. And so it's like a fast track way of doing that. And then so implying that he can't do it by himself means that there's like a voluntary participation. It makes her feel special and needed as well. And not in a way that's imposing because it's a cat, right? So there's an entire psychology behind this.
It cat. He'd say, you'll have to stay to help take care of it, lol. To which she'd say, I'm okay with that.
Stop
so I don't
talking.
know how that would work.
Just tell me how it is.
I can't stay forever either, because I'm not an American citizen, and I'll also probably have to go back as well. Because I mean, I hope at least that I can go back to studying end of this year. And like in general, everything is so expensive. Then he'd say, oh yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe we can get a cat together another time then. Besides, don't you already have a cat? Which she'd say, yeah, but they're my dad's. Also, did you finally order the food? And he'd say, oh, I see. So you wouldn't have to bring them if you just moved somewhere. To which she'd say, no, I guess not though. I'd miss them so much, so I definitely have to get new pets. So barely a couple days after speaking to each other, Sykkuno's out here discussing getting a pet together, taking care of it, raising it together, and looking into the possibility of her maybe moving in together with him one day. This was as he was sharing a home with his girlfriend. The next section.
What, nobody ever had two houses before?
Will be titled Lying About Being Single and Dating History. In
this is probably pages like 3 to like 30.
Sykkuno said he has only ever had one relationship his entire life.
Of course.
I would eventually find out that
apparently that seems to be true.
That was a lie, and that he had been dating and living in the same house as his girlfriend for years, and that I was not the only girl on the internet.
But it's the same girlfriend though. So it's true. He was only in one relationship. Yeah. I've only dated someone. Oh, and they broke up with me? Oh,
he spoke to on a daily basis. So here we can see DMs of them discussing this topic. Mal would say, I mean, you've been in relationships before. It's not like it's your first relationship. Referencing what they might potentially have going on. To which he'd reply with, I don't know, lol. I've only actually dated someone once and they broke up with me. So yeah, I think I'm just not very good. So it's probably just a me issue. To which he'd
This is a big risk. Like, what's crazy to me about this is that Sykkuno embodies one thing that is just incredibly attractive in almost every single regard to everybody in most groups, is that it's the abundance mindset. He's never committed to making sure that he can lock in the relationship. He only puts the pieces out and the bait out for her to lock in the relationship. And this is something that you do if you're messaging 35 other girls. Because at this point, you can't individually pursue every single one of them and try to rizz them all up and do this. So you use this, and the anti-needy, exactly, right? And that's what he's doing. Watch the XQC clip? I haven't seen it. I have no idea. The ball's in her court. Yeah, exactly. This guy has that dog in him? What the fuck? I know.
Say, did you never do anything for your ex, at all? To which he'd say, I mean, I think I did. I don't think she thought I did. So yeah. But I mean, everyone has their own way of what they want. So it's important to be are you getting what you want? And if you're not, I totally understand. Mal, of course, would want to inquire as to
and the reason why this is risky, by the way, is that a lot of girls, if you say that your girlfriend broke up with you, what they do is then they figure out, they think that, oh, well, they probably broke up with you because you're a retard, right? Because women 5 times are more likely to statistically take the side of another woman to express what's called in psychology an own group bias. So what the risky thing with this is that I would have this happen with me. I'd complain about my ex-girlfriend to my mom, and my mom would agree with my ex-girlfriend. What the fuck? How does this happen, right? And so only 5? Well, that's the scientific amount, right? It's probably PC. It's probably 20 times. But and so that's the risky thing about this. If I wouldn't have done this. I would have said something else.
He was saying, what do you mean you think you did?
That's
what?
Crazy.
But he'd never specify, and he'd always keep it vague, keeping up this persona that he crafted, the one that was allergic to love, that had no idea what was going on with women. This would lead us right into the next section titled sexting. We texted every single day, and these interactions would be charged with flirting and suggestive topics. I would send him suggestive pictures and audios, and he would confirm that he'd touch himself to them. Additionally, he'd always act flustered and inexperienced, keeping up the illusion of his on-stream innocent persona.
There's nothing wrong with this. You're literally just embarrassing the man. Like, I mean, come on.
We'd also regularly talk about date ideas and things we'd like to do together in the future when we'd meet up IRL. Yeah. Topics that are usually discussed between two adults who are clearly romantically interested in each other. On top of texting, we also called almost every single day, even after he'd stream for over 8 hours. We'd talk and play games regularly. One thing I'd noticed is that every time we called and when he spoke, he'd be whispering and never fully use his voice. His excuse was that it's because he was tired after a long stream, and I didn't really find that to be suspicious. Using your voice for 8 hours in a row does exhaust it after all. I now realize that he was quiet because his girlfriend lived with him and he didn't want her to hear.
Generational, bro. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. I gotta whisper, I can't be too loud.
So in this first set of DMs, we can see them discussing things to watch together. Sykkuno saying, let's watch something. Mal would say we should. He would say, let's watch a cooked Netflix dating show because those are funny, or both. And Mal would say we should. And do you also want to play games like Helldivers or Overwatch or etc.? In the next image, we can see them discussing the spicy audio that she sent him at some point.
Did you like the audio recording I sent you?
She would say, yeah, like in that audio recording I sent you, to which she would act flustered over and say, huh? Oh my God. Well, yes, you really sounded cute in that too. To which she would say, did you ever re-listen to it or only that once? And then,
she was totally coming on to him the entire time. Like, it seems like the overwhelming majority of these DMs are her initiating and pushing a sexual relationship towards him.
next screenshot, we can see them discussing going on a gym date. Mal expressed to him how much she enjoys going to work out at the gym, and so Sykkuno would inquire about what a gym date looks like. This is when they discuss it more. In the next two set of DMs, we can see them talking about more spicy topics. Mal would say, "You get flustered so easily." And then Sykkuno would say, "Because I'm not. I've never done like this kind of thing before, lol." To which she would say, "And? You don't like it?" He'd continue saying, "Which is crazy because I'm older than you, but like I haven't really dated much, so." And then Mal would say, "So? You have me now." He'd reply with, "My XP bar is low, but no, I do it."
Dude, generational fucking Riz. You have me now, my XP bar is low. Dude. Oh, God.
Never gotten something like this before. Yes, I like it. It's so good. I can't wait to use it later. As in, I can't wait to grill my sausage to it later, whatever she sent. To which she would...
What's wrong with that? I mean, there's plenty of people do that.
Would reply with, "You know, I've kind of wondered if you've ever touched yourself while watching what I send you." To which he'd say, "What? Why would you wonder that?" She'd say, "Well, because they're spicy pictures and videos. Of course, I wonder if you put them to use."
I mean, why do you, say, "I'll definitely put this one to use."
She'd say, "So you
why
never..."
do you, bro, this is the thing, is like, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. How is it that it's never not true? Like, why are you even adding this in just to embarrass? You're literally just embarrassing the guy. That's it.
Done so before? And then he would
crazy.
say, maybe in all caps, with a flustered sweating emoji. This is when she'd put her foot down and say, "I want a yes or no." And then he would say, "Yes, of course I have. Jesus. How could I not?" Overall, these DMs were a balance of spicy and wholesome, just like what you'd expect when two people are romantically interested in each other, saying goodnight to each other, inquiring on their health. He'd compliment her on her appearance. She'd say, "I love getting compliments from you. Good morning, handsome. What are you up to?" But this romantic interest wouldn't just be expressed with words. No, for Sykkuno, he'd make sure to express it financially too. This is what would lead us to the next section, titled Sugar Daddy. Less than a month later, Sykkuno would randomly ask for my...
If you think somebody's a sugar daddy because they sent you $81, you need to raise your standards. As a woman, you need to rate it $81? Are you kidding? You think you're worth $81? Jesus. Really? I mean, whales give so much more. They do. They do. There are tons of, like, I mean, everybody knows. There are girls that I know that do, like, stuff like this. Oh, they get paid way more money.
PayPal account in DMs. He'd then waste no time in
Stop
sending me
ruining
money
the game.
unprompted.
What, you want to pepper her up with $80 and have her fly all the way out to see you? Yeah, bro, I'm sorry, but I'm going to give away the game. Girls should ask for way more money from a guy like Sykkuno. They should. $81? This guy's a multi-fucking millionaire, and he's giving you $81 and you're losing your mind sending him nudes. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is like, I thought we were in hoflation. This is like a whole Great Depression. Look at it.
Something that I'd later realize was simply a behavioral pattern that he'd employ with women he'd express interest in. I want to reiterate that I have never asked him for his money, and he did this of his own volition. He bought me both a gym jacket, linked below, and Resident Evil 9, because I had expressed interest in that
Did he
game.
get you the collector's edition or not?
Here we can see two
That's
payments.
how you know
The
if he
first
really
one
loves
sent
you.
on the 28th of February 2026, 81 euros, and the second one being 200 euros on the 5th of March 2026. The sender was the business, Sykkuno. He'd innocently ask for a PayPal username on the 28th of February. He'd start off the conversation with, you still aren't asleep either? To which she'd say, I fell asleep, woke up again because I'm having trouble sleeping. He would then say, oh, well, good morning. And what's your PayPal so I can buy you games later? She'd say, huh? Straight to the point. Jesus, I need to update my email to my PayPal because it's my old name from before I rebranded. When he would send her money for a gym jacket, at some point she'd say, want me to send it back? To which he'd say, no, I wanted you to get a nice gym vest, lol. Especially because it seems like you're really passionate about working out, so I thought it'd be nice. And then you can remember—
That's, again, like, that's smart because he wants her to be hot. So you want to encourage her to keep going to the gym. Now you've created a psychological desire for her to continue going to the gym, and for her to now feel guilty for not going to the gym because you gave her the money to buy things. See, this is, yeah, see? It's an investment. He didn't give you money, he invested. You condition her. Exactly, you condition her.
me when you're wearing it. I thought it was a cute idea. She'd buy one, she'd wear it, she'd send it to him, and she'd say,
see? There it is.
I wore it with the green set because I know how much you like green. She'd also make a tweet on her account while wearing it, saying, this gym jacket is literally so comfy, the muscle mommy arc will be real. Up until this point, this was Mal's experience with Sykkuno. The next section is titled, A Calculated Pattern of Love Bombing and Manipulation. And this is where we talk about Elphilia's side of the story. The document would say, after speaking to Elphilia a few days ago, we were able to corroborate our experiences with Sykkuno and learned that we were both victims of this. We had no idea that he was talking to both of us at the same time. Sykkuno is known to send hundreds of dollars to the girls he wants to get involved with. This screenshot is from when he took my friend Elphilia to Paris during the 2025 TFT tournament.
So this is the reason why he's not giving her a lot of money, is that he's got to space it out. That's smart.
Along with sending her 500 euros to help her move into her new apartment. You can clearly see that this was sent from his business email's PayPal account. So unlike the other image that was supplied by Mal, here we can clearly see this is Sykkuno at hot.
I mean, this is like what? It's over a year. I mean, this is a guy, okay, this is a guy that has probably a net worth of over $5 million. He locked you in, he dabbed you up with $1,500? Like, I mean, really, what's going on with this? I mean, this is over a year? 3 months? Oh, fuck, 3 months. I mean, that's a lot more. I thought, no, I got it wrong.
Mail.com sending her all this money. A substantial amount, around 1,550 euros, all under his business email. Here are the DMs.
This is the reciprocity, right? And so this is like, I'm going to give this girl money, and that way she feels like she has to do something for me. This is very, very common. It's the same thing that the scammers in Paris do. It's the same thing that companies do. Like, this is something that it works on a business level. It works on a scamming level. It works on a relationship level. It works everywhere.
Which we can see that he offered to pay for her flight to TFT Paris, as well as all the food and hotel fees there.
I don't know about
Pretty much taking care of her financially during the entire trip.
Is that predatory?
So this starts off as far back as April 2025, with Sykkuno telling Elphilia, I'm probably going to Paris later this year for sure. I'm not sure on TwitchCon yet. I'm afraid I don't know enough people. He'd say, you should come to Paris when I go to it.
I don't know enough people. And then she's going to say, I'm going to go there and you're going to know me.
Is it close? To which she'd say, Paris is pretty easy to go to, since it's in the European Union. He'd say, you better hang out then when I go there. She'd reply with, I'll have to see because I know nothing and no one there and it's expensive. To which he would say, I'll pay for it.
Don't worry. Whoa, really? You do that?
don't worry. She'd say, whoa, really? You do that? And then he'd say, yeah, of course. And all the food. She'd, of course, be ecstatic about this and say, you'd have to deal with my annoying ass, though. And he would say, but you got to choose places to eat, like the restaurants. And she'd say, deal. One day later, he'd reiterate, you're fine. You never have to pay for anything. Don't worry, lol. How much is the flight usually from Netherlands to Paris and back? Because she lived in the Netherlands at the time. I think I'm going for like a TFT tournament or something like that. On the 10th of December, 2025, we can see her saying, I'm boarding now. See you soon. To which he would reply with, see you soon. You have the hotel info, right?
Okay. They were going to Paris together. All right. That's very different. I thought that he flew her to like where he lived and he had her in a hotel. Okay. That's way different.
Since they were going to share a room. This brings us to the next section titled Elphilia's Experience. Elphilia would talk to Sykkuno on and off for the span of 5 years. During that time, she had absolutely no idea that he had a girlfriend in the 5 years that she had known him.
Somebody says, brother, you are devaluing the level of Riz this man exudes. It lowers the cost. Stop disrespecting the game. The thing is that, like, I think that there's a lot, like, because this is, and I was talking to somebody about this, and they were like, well, why would he message 30 girls? And I said to them, I said, when you're a commercial fisherman, you have like 30 lines out because you know that you're always going to have 2 or 3 fish on the hook. And so you want to make sure you have 30 lines out so there's always a fish or 2 on the hook. There's always hedging his bets. Exactly, yes.
On and off flirted with him. Anytime she would bring up the topic of his love life, he would give the response of playing too many games and not going out enough to meet women to date. So bear in mind, she knew him since like 2021, back when he was like the most desired man on the entirety of Twitch or the streaming space. And even with all that flirting, he never once mentioned the relationship he's been in since 2021. So this was in the beginning of his relationship as well. Yeah. So in this next set of DMs, we can see Elphilia saying, also, I have a question for you. Why are you single? Like, how? To which he'd say, huh? That's a crazy question, lol. I think it's a combination of like playing too many games. To which he'd say, why crazy? Why is it crazy?
Playing too many games. Yeah, you are, but not. My favorite thing is that a lot of people like him, very manipulative people, will always like to tell you the truth, but make you believe that it's a lie or make you believe it's something else. Him saying, I'm playing too many games. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Question. The guy was desired by anyone, even after his viewership had fallen down.
I never said what kind of games. I never said that.
It didn't make sense. The document would say, same calculated behavior and patterns, using his
I don't mean leak
facade to lure women into a false narrative. In this next set of DMs, Elphilia would be saying, you're cute. You're this sweet to all girls, or am I just lucky? To which he'd say, wah, lol, only to the ones I think are cool. So as we can see, Elphilia is just starstruck. She can't believe this. She feels so lucky that Sykkuno, the guy who's desired by everyone, is giving her attention out of anyone else in the world. This is the effect he had on people, and he knew this. And just like with Mal, he would follow her personal Instagram with his official Sykkuno Instagram page. It's genuinely like a deja vu to what he did with Mal. Like, it's the same.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Same patterns. The guy had a playbook, and he knew how to put it to use.
Yeah.
The document would continue. Here is proof that Sykkuno was in Paris for the TFT event around this time too, directly from his Twitter. So here you can see this was posted around the 13th of December 2025 when he was in Paris. In this first tweet on the left, we can see him taking an image of Lily Pichu, who was also there, as well as him retweeting
he was obviously
one of TFT's tweets saying,
I mean, I don't think we need to have a triangulation here, okay? Do I believe that Sykkuno flew to Paris to hook up with this girl and also go to a networking event for his career? Yep, I believe it. I could believe that instantly. You don't need to convince me. I don't need to have it proven. I believe it.
Ultimate bragging rights have been secured at the TFT Paris Open. This is them announcing that Sykkuno's team had won, confirming that he was indeed there. The next page of the document would show us a set of DMs between Sykkuno and Elphilia. The date would be the 3rd of March, 2026. So this would be 3 months.
I was playing WoW and I saw this player and it reminded me of you. Oh, man. And then right after that, he's trying to hook up with it, dude.
But they had met up and hooked up. And this would be as he was talking with Mal. He'd say, oh my god, I was playing World of Warcraft. I saw this player. It reminded me of you. That's because that player had a similar looking name. She'd say, oh, you got reminded of me? That's cute. To which he'd say, of course. Oh, I was going to ask, were you planning on going to like Offkai or anything like that? That's a VTuber Expo, right? To which she would say, I wish, but unfortunately I can't. My rent is now 800 euros per month and I'm living fully off of my savings, so I canceled all my travels for the year. The document would say, to add even more salt to the wound, after Elphilia's Paris trip, and 2 weeks after he had started talking to me, saying things like how he wants to move in with me and such, he would message Elphilia asking her if she'll be at Offkai. This is proof that he'd be talking to more than one woman at the same time. Planning a hookup for every event he went to. He was doing this while giving me the impression that he wanted something long-term, and all while also having a girlfriend since 2021. Yeah. Elphilia and I weren't friends until I found out that he was cheating on his girlfriend. This is when we both got in contact with each other and shared our stories.
Let's call ice on her? Bro!
The section would end with both Sykkuno and Elphilia talking about random topics, and then at the end of this DM chain, we can see Sykkuno saying, how was your day? To which she would reply with, awful. Spent the whole day crying. Crying right now. Why do some men cheat? I'll never understand. Dude, the document points out that this is ironic.
Why do some men cheat? I'll never understand. How was your day?
Seeing that Sykkuno is a cheater himself. So as you can see, when these two women spoke to each other,
what did he say to that? I want to know what he said to that.
Shocked to know that they were being used so casually. Please. And shocked to know that this man was in a relationship.
What did he say?
But how is it that he did this for years with no consequences? How is it that there are many Elphilias and Mals out there with no one saying a thing? Well, they kind of did, which is what the next section is all about. It's titled Rumors and Broken Friendships. As I mentioned in the intro, no one made a public statement before because they never had sufficient evidence. Sykkuno would always talk about the most explicit and sensitive topics in voice calls or in person, never leaving a paper trail. This was all intentional.
The software engineer.
Rumors still managed to spread. Many content creators, both big and small, would vent to their friends about his behavior. Behind the scenes for many, he'd be known as a predator who regularly took advantage of smaller and or vulnerable content creators. The reason why Sykkuno would abruptly stop hanging out with certain people throughout the years is because of this predatory behavior. However, he'd managed to keep enough influential friends around him to legitimize his position in the space, especially seeing that many of those friends were women who would have normally stood in solidarity with any sort of victim, making it seem like he was safe enough to trust because they trusted him enough to be a friend. As Elphilia spoke with Sykkuno, she'd tell him about rumors that she had heard from someone else, about how Sykkuno had a roster of readily available women, and how they all coincidentally were smaller content creators who wouldn't dare touch him if something went wrong. Elphilia, of course, didn't believe this. After all, Sykkuno had a calculated pattern that worked perfectly in his favor.
Because every single one of them wants to think that they're special. Every single one of them wants to think that, yeah, he had a bad past, but he's turning it around just for me.
His innocent, naive demeanor wouldn't dare hurt a fly, so why would he hurt me? So here we can see DMs between Elphilia and Sykkuno. She would start this off with saying, I don't know, he said he dislikes you, referencing a friend of hers, and that you only go for girls that are small so you can manipulate them with your shy persona. Yet he is doing that to my friend right now. To which Sykkuno would say, oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that's true, but I guess people will say stuff randomly. I'm confused as to these people who think I'm going for them. I haven't really done that. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, like I said before, people who know me will know me, and I guess he just dislikes me, which is totally fine. She'd say, exactly. He did say the only reason you haven't gotten called out is because you go after small creators and they'll never expose you. If you ever need proof of anything, I have receipts, just in case he tries anything funny. Sykkuno would say, oh, I feel like the way VTubers are, they would love to try and expose bigger streamers. They love drama, lol. But it's not true. So I think it's fine. I don't need receipts or anything. It's fine. But I thought he was chill. I'm kind of sad he was so angry. Elphilia would say, I know, just making sure you stay safe no matter what, love. Sykkuno would continue saying, I mean, why is he bringing up so much anyway, though? To which she'd say, he's jealous of you. I'm just playing League with him, and he brought you up out of the blue. To which he'd say, I don't think there's much to be jealous of, lol. But hopefully he feels better soon. And Elphilia ends this by saying, he said you hurt 5 of his friends, apparently. So this was on the 22nd of December after they had met IRL, and Elphilia had no reason to doubt him, right? She still had no idea that he had a girlfriend since 2021. This is why she was still so readily siding with him. And speaking of cheating, this is what would lead us to the section, Sykkuno's girlfriend. The coincidence that would lead me to finding out the truth about Sykkuno happened last week. A popular male VTuber tried to slide into my DMs to presumably
Wild disease for her to imply that she's annoyed. That's the reason why.
my pants, and when I rejected him, he immediately started to mention nasty rumors about Bao. Out of concern for her, I reached out to Ahmad, who then connected me with Bao. The three of us struck up a conversation when I mentioned I was nervous about a date I was going on. They asked me who it was. When I said my date was with Sykkuno, they immediately told me not to go on the date for my own personal safety.
Dude.
Bao told me that at the end of March, Sykkuno's
3 more girls that were going to get a cat with Sykkuno. Nobody got the cat.
girlfriend reached out to her regarding a controversial
tweet
did. Bao made
Sykkuno
last
did.
year in 2025. She asked Bao if it was true that the tweet was about Sykkuno. So this tweet in question, right, if you were on Twitter back in October 2025, you would have probably seen it. It went absolutely viral, and it simply just said, if you're an up-and-coming female content creator with a small but growing audience and a much larger and successful male content creator approaches you out of nowhere and showers you with attention on stream, in DMs, etc., don't walk, run.
Damn.
99% of people. This was Bao giving smaller content creators very well-needed advice. In reality, though, this was a subtweet directly referencing Sykkuno's behavior. Because the document would continue, they called, as in Bao and Sykkuno's girlfriend, and Bao explained to her that other women had confided in her about similar experiences with him. She described a pattern of behavior where he targeted small female content creators and pressured them into having sex with him. Bao then offered to connect her with these other victims so they could share their experiences with her directly, as she felt it was important to hear them firsthand. This was all discussed during a
It all comes falling down.
And so here we can see a DM sent by Sykkuno's girlfriend on March 24, 2026 to Bao, saying, "Hey Bao, I'm sorry to bother you with this, but I heard something recently that was a bit
pressured is wrong. Also, like, I mean, I don't know if it's wrong or not. I wasn't there. I won't make any comments on that. How can I know?
Concerning, and I thought I would just come ask you about it. I heard that there was possibly an instance of Sykkuno trying to get VTuber girls up to his hotel room to drink with them, and that the tweet you made about being cautious of large male streamers showering you with gifts and attention was about him, in regards to him doing it to one of your friends?" You know, before we get back to the document, this actually reminds me of this one tweet that was posted on Twitter back on October 21st, 2025 during TwitchCon North America, where an innocent fan came across Sykkuno in the lobby of a hotel at 2 a.m. One can only wonder what he was doing there, but as you can see, rumors are very easy to spread once you spot someone in a hotel lobby at 2 a.m. The document would continue. Bao told me that 3 days before I contacted her and her mod, Sykkuno and his girlfriend were trying to reconcile after Sykkuno somehow managed to convince her that it was all a huge misunderstanding. She had no clue that I, as well as many other girls, still existed in Sykkuno's romantic and sexual life.
So wait a minute. So you're telling me that he tried to get his girlfriend back even while he still had the roster? At the same time, he was addicted to the game. Bao and her mob would put me in a group chat with Sykkuno's. They had a whole group chat against him. They premeditated this? Who cares if they premeditated it? He premeditated what he did. Who gives a shit? Yeah, they obviously conspired against him because they're mad. They're mad that they got played. And again, I think it's justifiable for them to get mad. It is manipulative. It is taking advantage of them. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. Of course they're mad.
Her mod would put me in a group chat with Sykkuno's girlfriend.
If I was them, I'd be mad.
The screenshots you see above. She was rightfully horrified and left the group chat because she couldn't stomach reading them.
I've lived with him for over 2 years.
In the group chat from Sykkuno's girlfriend saying, "I have lived with him for over 2 years. We have been together since 2021. And on top of that, everything he's planning with you are things we have planned together and talk about and have done. I'm sorry." At this point, I would.
That's right. You have like it's like a test case.
Be able to imagine what I would feel if I was in Mal's shoes or anyone else's shoes that Sykkuno had taken advantage of. In fact, I mean, I can't imagine being his girlfriend, hearing these rumors about someone I lived with in the same home and finding out about it this way. Even after he managed to convince me that him sleeping with someone back in December 2025 was a misunderstanding. It's horrifying. This would all lead us to the final section of this document, titled "To All of Sykkuno's Victims." Ever since Sykkuno's viral breakout during the pandemic lockdowns of 2020 when he played Among Us, he has always carefully curated every aspect of his behavior on stream and with friends.
Welcome to the fucking show. Big surprise, guys. People that act a certain way on stream aren't that way. Victims, I mean, I do think he took advantage of them. He did. He did take advantage of them. I think it's fair to say that they were victims of somebody who was manipulative. somebody who was deceitful and manipulative. I think that's true. I don't think that he's a predator, but I think that he's manipulative. I just think that predator term is too heavily charged. That's it. So the thing is that, like, I mean, welcome to the show. I mean, a lot of streamers, the way they act on stream is not the way they act off stream. Like, duh, of course.
Innocent, romantically inexperienced boy failure who looks like an anime character and sounds like one too.
Looks like
perfectly
an anime?
curated image would attract a large audience of women, with a lot of them openly professing how attracted they are to him. He soaked in the praise and never sought to limit the most extreme aspects of his community because it made him more desirable.
Well,
he understood this
duh.
and would use this curated image, as well as his legitimacy in the content creation space thanks to his followers and famous friends, to seek out any attractive cosplayers and or content creators that were...
Not any. All attractive cosplayers. Just down the list.
Small enough to be starstruck by his grand presence.
Yes.
It would work most of the time, as he'd use the same calculated pattern that he used with me and Elphilia to lure them in, and eventually fly them out to the next convention or event that he went to with the goal of hooking up.
Yeah.
What these many women didn't know, though, is that he'd always lie about the fact that he's single. That behind the scenes, he had a neglected and depressed girlfriend that he'd been with since 2021 and who has lived with him since 2024 in the same house. I implore the many other victims to come out about their experiences with this predator. And I end this document with a recording of Sykkuno in which he admits to everything, especially with how he cheated on his girlfriend with my friend and was intending to do that with me as well. For context, this was shortly after I had messaged his girlfriend about his cheating. 30 minutes later, he would ask if I was free for a call. As his girlfriend was crying downstairs, he somehow chose to prioritize someone that he barely met 2 months ago. She's referring to herself. I pointed this out.
Well, of course he would, because he's prioritizing you because he thinks that by having a communication with you, that it will lower the probability that you'll say something publicly that would negatively affect him. And he knows that his girlfriend, apparently we don't even know who his girlfriend is, so she's irrelevant. So she's not going to say anything about this. So that way, it's like basically you want to put out the fire that people can see. Right? And so that's smart for him to do that. Damage control? Yeah, exactly.
Bring the call.
It's completely logical.
The link. So the link isn't here right now, but obviously it will be by the time this video comes out. It's okay though, because I have the video. And if you're wondering why you should watch it here, well, it's because Sykkuno's voice is so damn low. I mean, the guy was whispering as if someone was after him with a gun.
Ooh.
They could barely tell what he's saying.
Why?
I actually bothered
Nobody
to add
knows
subtitles. Why. This whole recording is 17 minutes long.
Proper
and
aggro
as the
management?
document
Yeah,
stated,
exactly.
he pretty much admits to everything. Watch.
Okay.
Hello.
Thomas.
Oh, God.
So?
Well,
Cat's out of the bag.
pretty much know most of it.
Yeah? Like what?
Know what?
No, you
Tricky Thomas.
Okay. Well,
Tricky
I'm
Tom.
very honest
I wasn't very honest.
about things.
About
what? You have to speak up a little bit. Your mic's cutting out.
It's not cutting out.
Sorry.
It's not cutting out, sweetie. He just has to make sure that his girlfriend can't overhear your conversation while he does damage control, okay? It's not cutting out.
This happens. About being single, and I just wanted to tell you how everything happened.
Uh-huh. You're still gonna have to speak up a little bit, by the way. You're still cutting out a lot.
Sorry. You know how I talk quietly.
Yeah, but you never talk this quietly.
She's in a closer room.
It's the actions of your... Well, it's the consequence of your own actions, I suppose.
I know. So basically, I was in a very happy relationship.
Doesn't sound like it, but... Sure.
Not any... I was. That's what he said was.
Finish.
Uh-huh,
I
continue.
was in a very happy relationship a long time ago.
Long time ago. What, like
And then-
2021?
I don't know the exact time, honestly, but a long time.
Because it's more recent, but he doesn't want to say that. So you make the appeal to ambiguity so the person assumes that the date that they originally gave you is accurate. Of course. Of course.
So then it got a lot less happy.
How so?
I don't fully know. She just stopped hanging out with me that much, and
She stopped hanging out with
Stop
me.
hanging out with you. She lives with you.
yeah, I mean,
You're gonna have to speak up. I can't hear a single sentence that comes out of your mouth.
It's uncomfortable silence. It's actually a lot longer, but I cut some out. Oh, God.
You there?
Yes, I'm here.
See, probably the girl came nearby, and so he had to put the phone down. And so that the reason, like, and he's playing it off as if like he's like embarrassed or sad about it, but he's like, oh, no, honey, I'm not talking to anyone. What do you mean? What do you mean you heard voices? Take your medication.
Okay, I'm just asking because you went quiet.
Anyway, so I was very, very happy. And at some point, it wasn't so happy.
Right.
I don't know exactly when, but like we stopped spending time together.
What? Oh. Reframing. We stopped spending time together.
We hadn't done it together for years.
Or what? I couldn't hear that part.
I said we hadn't done anything together for like years.
This is such fuckboy behavior.
And I was just very sad and alone. Didn't feel wanted at all.
So
reframing it. So this is something I did when I was a kid. Is that like, so my mom caught me looking at porn. And so what I told her, I was in 6th grade. And I was like, I had to look at porn because everybody in school was bullying me, calling me gay. And so I had to look at porn because I didn't know if I was gay or not. And so it totally reframed it. And then she started feeling sorry for me. Meanwhile, nobody in school I was calling other people gay. What do you mean? Like, I was the one doing that. What are you talking about? So the fact is, like, and so now what he's doing is that he's going around and he's trying to reframe it like he's the victim and he's just looking for attention. So she'll feel sorry for him and not be outspoken about the negative stuff. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to sympathy farm.
Slip with Alfie in Paris.
Yeah.
And then you flirted with me.
Yeah.
And were telling me how you wanted me to come visit you in Vegas, and how you wanted to go on a date, and how you were serious about me, and how you really meant it, and how you wanted to go get a cat together.
That's a lot of cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why? Why didn't you just break off the relationship then?
That's what I'm curious about, too. I'm actually curious about that. Why didn't you just break up with her? Because if you wanted to, like, hook up with all these different girls, why do you, like, obviously you're not really in love with her if you're hooking up with all these other girls. So, like, why didn't you do that? Like, it's very confusing to me.
Because a combination of remembering how it
always have a backup plan? Yeah.
Some part of me hoping it would go back to that. And
well, obviously it's not going to go back to that if you're actively cheating on her. It's only going to get worse. I think that's really on you, bud.
Yeah.
And I know you're smarter than that.
I'm not.
I mean, for fuck's sake, you're a 34-year-old man. Yes, you are.
34.
Stop acting like you're a child.
34. And he's still... Bro, the thing is that I think that this kind of stuff... Like, people say it's like you're getting older, right? No, I think guys do this when they're like 65. I think they do. I feel like it just happens more and more.
Don't think that's what I'm acting.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you
he's
say
70, yeah.
You're not smarter than that, but you are. You're a 34-year-old man. You just chose to do it.
I know. One of the things that I did when my dad was in the hospital is I called up all of the girls that he used to talk to that he would not maybe do this, but on some spectrum of this. And I had all of them come visit him when he was in the hospital. I did. Don't say it. I mean, that's fine, right? And so, yeah. And it improved things. He was in a better mood.
You knew damn well in the back of your head that wasn't going to end up well.
Yeah. At different times, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's complicated.
It's really not. Cheating is just bad. She hasn't done anything to ask for
yeah,
to be cheated on. It's pretty cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she relied on me to take care of a lot of things, and I still cared about her.
Okay, that doesn't mean that...
So he's trying to imply that he's taking care of her, and that's the reason why he's staying, to make himself look like, oh, well, I'm providing for her, and so that's the reason why I'm staying, even though I shouldn't.
You do that because you wanted to, not because you... Not because she was, like, holding it against you or forcing you to.
So rehearsed? Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So there's still no excuse for you to cheat on her.
Not saying there was one. Just explaining why it happened.
The only reason why it happened is because you just chose to do it. I don't know why you decided to lie to me, because you know damn fucking well that lying especially is like a big thing I do not tolerate.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was fine about the Alfie thing, because I was like, okay, he didn't know me before that, right? But then I find out you've had a girlfriend this entire time. Do you realize how fucked up that is? Because not only were you... Because, sure, you didn't lead Alfie on. Alfie acknowledges that you didn't lead her on, right? Because I've talked to Alfie. I'm friends with her. I've been friends with her before I even met you.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
she acknowledges that you didn't lead her on. You led me on, though. You did lead me on, though.
Yeah.
You gave me all these fancy-ass promises about, oh, we're gonna go on a date when you come visit here. What, so you could cheat on your girlfriend again?
Yeah.
So you could sleep with me so you could cheat on your girlfriend again?
Yeah, that's... I mean... Duh. yeah, obviously.
That wasn't...
What were you intending with that?
Well, I thought it was going to, be over.
But what?
Like, I thought that was gonna be the end of that.
He's using ambiguity so she can... This technique is very good, but it's not very good when the person's onto you. Because what he's doing is he's adding in ambiguity so she can fill it in with what basically suits her ego. But I think that it's too late in the game to him to do that. This is an early game strat that you can't do on the last turn of the game. You can't. It's way too late for this.
The end of what?
My previous relationship.
You were gonna break up with so you could date me, or what?
Well, like
Say
I said,
didn't
it'd been
know.
a long time where, like, we hadn't spent time together. Hadn't done anything in years. And in my head, I
Toast
thought
would have made a better play. Toast would have 100%. Yeah.
At some point.
He would have survived this meeting for sure.
I couldn't hear you.
I said, I thought that meant that was going to be, like, the end of it.
So you were already moving on before you even broke up with her? Were you intending to break up with her, or were you just waiting for her to break up with you?
See, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Of course.
It's
So-
just a really weird
I
mix
just
of, like,
want to understand this. So what was your intention with me? Like, where was I in this whole thing? Like, were you intending to date me after her? Like, were you intending to just ditch to go date me?
I mean, I guess for me, it felt like it was already. Oh.
But that's not what I asked. I'm talking about me.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
You were thinking to just ditch her and then date me. What, were you gonna do the same thing to me? I'm sorry, but, like, you're not really selling this whole relationship thing really well if this is the type of relationship you uphold.
Yeah.
Not trying to sell it.
I can tell.
Just trying to explain what's going on.
Yeah. The thing is, if I never reached out to Bao,
he's vague maxing so hard. He is, and the reason why, again, because he's hoping that by vague maxing he can create sympathy by her creating a narrative, because that's the way that he got these girls to get with him. And so, but it doesn't work in this. It doesn't work whenever the narrative is already predetermined, right? Because she already knows what's going on. So you can't use this strategy.
I reach out to Bao about you, right? I reached out to Bao about because he's lied behind my back to a bunch of people, and I was not okay with that.
Though? I don't think it's working.
And then started lying about Bao. That's when I reached out to Bao.
The video's out. It didn't work. It's recorded. It didn't work.
And then I was talking with a little bit back and forth, and then you came up in the topic, and then she told me you had a girlfriend.
He's probably texting a new girl on the call.
And that your girlfriend has been venting to Bao this entire time. About how you gaslight her into staying. You make her feel bad anytime that she, like, wanted to leave because you cheated on her. And she knew that you cheated on her. She just didn't know who. Because you never told her that it was Elfie. You just told her that you cheated on her in Paris.
He's going to say yeah, isn't he?
I think. I don't know if you told her, but I knew she knew.
Come on.
Yeah, I did tell him.
Oh, he's being specific.
Why?
Wow.
Why go through all of this trouble?
That's a lot.
Didn't
expect that.
I mean, for God's sake, if the only thing why you even stayed with her is because she relied on me for a lot of things, you can afford to take care of her for a little bit before she gets back onto her feet. Like, at least don't put her through the trouble of telling her I'm still gonna be with you, telling her that you're still her boyfriend, while actively cheating on her every single day.
See.
Yeah, I mean,
if this was like me, I was in this situation, what I would do for damage control is I would start agreeing with her and talking about how I'm going to try to get help and fix myself because I know I did something wrong, even though I thought in my mind it was justified, because I think that's the next play that he should do. That's what I would do if I was him in this situation.
Right. I should have just, said how I felt.
You could have just deadass. If the only thing that you were concerned about is the fact that she relied on you for things,
right?
You could have just supported her until she got back onto her feet, so she could support herself. You know?
The Diddy play? It's not a Diddy play.
And it wasn't just that.
Then what else?
Somehow hoping it would go back to how it used to be.
Well, I also already told you, cheating is not going to make it go back to how it used to be.
It's a lot easier to say that.
It's the truth. It's the harsh truth. Nothing is going to go back the same way that it was if you're going to cheat on someone actively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm going to change.
You're going to change what?
That's it. Everything.
What do you mean that's it?
Just gonna change that.
You're gonna stay with her?
You're right.
But honest to God, I feel like the poor girl's been through enough. I don't think you should have to sit there and keep doing this to her.
Man.
Because I was in a group chat with her while you were on stream. And this girl's absolutely f***ing distraught because of the shit that you've done to her.
Yeah.
The shit that you've put her through. Genuinely. Do you know how much that fucks someone up?
I would say no, I don't.
You already cheated on her once,
I don't
she decided
understand.
to trust you still. She decided to stay with you, despite the fact that you already had cheated on her and admitted to it. And what do? You go onto Twitter and go find the next girl to flirt with. If anything, honest to God, I'm not even mad at it.
It's not true. I did it on Instagram.
At this point, I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed.
Say me too. Say me too. Please say me too.
That's fair.
Oh, no.
Because she's been crying to Bao about it. Bao's been sitting there, like, comforting this girl, trying to tell her, hey, maybe you should leave him. Because this isn't okay. This really isn't okay. You're putting this girl through mental strain. Every single day. That you continue to be with her.
Uh-huh.
While you're sitting there having fun playing with your friends. Be so honest right now, Thomas.
Uncomfortable silence, part 2. Girlfriend probably walked back into the room.
So you think,
Tricky Thomas.
And you might be right.
Yeah.
Okay, now we see, okay, this is a smart pivot. This is a great pivot because now she can feel vindicated. And, oh yeah, see now we're all right. So this is what I was saying, right? This is a good idea. Now you can hopefully get it to get it to a manageable level.
Yeah. Like, if it is money that she doesn't have, or if it's a job, or if it's family, or blah 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 blah.
Gave her a lot.
Yeah, well, there exactly. Just help her back on her feet until she can support herself, and then just leave the girl alone. Because she deserves better than that. Because you cannot sit there and be like, I love her, but do all of this shit to her, and continue to let her stay in that situation.
Well, one part of that wasn't true.
One part of that wasn't true. Are you going to clarify? Of course you're not.
What?
I think the feelings faded.
Said the same. Yep, there it is.
Well, then you should just let her go.
So now he's probably happy because this is a tone shift, and so now there's the sympathy. Some of the sympathy baiting has started to work, and so now I think that you're going to hear him start talking more at this point because you've got the fish back on the hook. The fish was off the hook. Now it's back on the hook. Okay, let's see if he's going to talk more about this.
Instead of just sitting her there wasting her time.
Okay, well, anyway.
And also, why'd you get on a call with me when right now she's upset? I know she lives with you.
I already talked to her.
Yeah.
I already talked to her, bro. I already did that daily.
First.
You should be there to comfort her. She's the one that you cheated on.
No, I'm going to be doing that. I just wanted to settle this first.
This is not settled.
More.
I'm beyond upset with you. Like, genuinely beyond upset with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
You should be.
That's fine.
Say that.
Settled, I mean, like... That's it. Like...
What's it?
Probably never talking again.
You and me?
Yes.
What? Why?
Is that not why?
This is a crazy play. That is a wow. Wow. That dude. Oh my God. Like, I would have not even considered that. I would have, I like, crazy level. Like, I wouldn't even thought of doing that. Wow. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to start taking notes. Okay, now what?
What is why I'm so upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me.
Mm-hmm.
You can still talk to me and be, like, make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances. But I never will forgive you for cheating on her. That's that.
Oh my God.
There are a lot of girls that are upset with you, by the way, because Alfie's not the only one that has hit me up.
Yeah, that sounds like you've heard things.
Yeah, and you lied to me a lot about that too. A lot. Because how big was the roster again?
I don't think I ever had one of those.
I mean, maybe not at the same time, but you sure do hop around.
I don't think I had one of those. I didn't have one of those. What do you mean?
Yeah. All I care about right now is that he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Keep me updated on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a possibility.
You can keep me updated on how she's doing. You can keep me updated on when she moves out, because I don't think she should be living with you anymore.
Damn.
I don't think you need me to do that.
I mean, yeah, I care about her. Like,
yeah, she can do that.
True. I'll just reach out to her then. But yeah, no.
I don't know why. The thing is, dude, why didn't you should have told her? Because now you have, dude. This is the reason why I actually believe that that Hillary Clinton never met Jeffrey Epstein. Because why the fuck would you ever want to introduce your wife to the guy that gets you hooked up with other girls? Like, that would be the two farthest people away that you would want, right? Like, I would, if I was Bill Clinton, right? That would be the last person I would want my wife to meet, would be Jeffrey fucking Epstein. Because that is my boy, right? That is my boy. We're on the plane together. We're on the island together. We're getting it in together. So the last thing is for him to say, oh, well, did you talk to Samantha? And then Hillary to say, who's Samantha? Oh, no. So, like, really? It's going to get clipped? Look, guys. Of course. Oh, my God, Zach, stop. Everybody loves the out-of-context clips. Hey, they hate the in-context clips, too, right? Those are even worse.
You go talk to her. She needs you right now.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. Oh, bye.
Bye, Thomas.
Jesus.
Shortly after the call, the last thing Mal would ever say to Sykkuno would be, I'm beyond disappointed in you. So look, according to Mal, there are countless other victims. It is completely up to them on whether they want to come out with their side of the story or not. For now, though, we can confirm at least 2 different people that were completely misled by him as he cheated on his girlfriend so comfortably. In those 2 instances, we can see him also using the same playbook, the same tactics.
Yeah.
Sending them money, making them feel special, following their personal Instagram, wanting to meet ASAP, to hook up, everything. And I think one thing that personally struck me was how only 30 minutes after his girlfriend found out about his cheating and probably confronted him, he chose to run upstairs and prioritize Mal, someone he met
damage
2 months ago. All while his girlfriend
social media damage control to prevent that she's not going to say anything negative about him. And so she doesn't talk to more people. So because it's a matter of priorities.
Lying downstairs, gutted, heartbroken. There's a reason people say with great power comes great responsibility. Because once you have this power that Sykkuno possessed, you can so easily take advantage of others. So as a content creator, you have a very clear choice. And unfortunately, Sykkuno decided to be the worst person possible. I wish all the victims in this travesty
you can do worse,
the
but yeah.
absolute best. And I also encourage them to speak.
I think that, like, there's definitely, like, I mean, what Sykkuno did was definitely, it was immoral, it was manipulative, it was bad faith, and it was mean. It was really bad. But it was not even on this, like, I mean, there are people that do things that are illegal. And I think that, like, I mean, really, like, that's the really bad. So, like, what he did is bad behavior. It's bad faith behavior. Absolutely, 100% it is. Everybody knows that. We all know this. But these are still willing participants, and consent was never withdrawn. It was never taken advantage of. And no one was ever aggressed on in a way that they didn't consent to. And I think that's very important to keep this in mind. It's extremely important to keep that in mind.
When it rains, it pours. And right now, the first drop has hit the ground. Sykkuno and anyone else who seeks to take advantage of their position need to be held accountable. And for anyone who grew up watching him during quarantine, who looked up to him, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, ruining whatever ideal image you had of him in your head. In any case, if more victims decide to speak out, then I will most likely stream
Why are these one being called
reading
victims?
all of them.
I think that it's fair to say that they were victims. He did take advantage and lie to them and manipulate them and do all that. I think it definitely, like, he did victimize them. Absolutely. I actually think that part is fair.
Channel
it's my
later
opinion.
on. For the time being, though, please, if a larger content creator reaches out to you, even if you don't make content, please always be extremely skeptical and know that they probably don't see you as the most special person in the world. They've probably done this to many others already. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really, really appreciate it. If you want a healthy alternative to an energy drink, then definitely use the code Mugen at GamerSubs for 10% off. And if you want exclusive content like high-quality art and exclusive yapping videos, then definitely check out stacked.com. It's like Patreon, but better. I love you so much. Platonically. Come on, platonically. I'm not going to be like Sykkuno, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that is. Mwah.
Thomas the Predator Engine. I think that it is, like, I love the video. The video is great. I'll link it to you guys. And, like, I don't really want to I don't want to hate on the guy, right? Mugen, I think he did a great job putting this together. I do think that it's inappropriate to label him as a predator, though. I do. I think that there is, like, again, everybody always wants to assign the most extreme label to something so that they can feel like they're morally ahead of it. But I do think that predator is too much. It's too much. But that being said, everything else is like, yeah, tagging in predators and saying, yeah, that's it. And Mugen's friends with the girl. Yeah, and I get that. I understand that. That's whatever. But, like, again, I think that, like, again, like, there are two spectrums, right? So what he did is not even on the spectrum of illegal. And I think that what's legal and illegal in terms of sexual, like, relations is actually very valid. Like, for example, it's completely legal to cheat with somebody that you are, you know, it's also an adult, right? Like, it's two adults consenting. Now, if he had done something or touched someone or forced someone or, you know, like, done something that was bad or given somebody something, like, or like even something like, you know, saying that you're going to wear a condom and then not wearing a condom, like, I think that just fundamentally is, like, infinitely worse than what he did, because the difference is that consent is never withdrawn. Consent is never not given. And if consent is given, I think that it's on the spectrum of bad, but it's very, very low on that spectrum. And I think that really, I mean, there's a million things that are worse than that, right? Like, that's like rape. Yeah, sure, right? Adultery laws still exist. I know that. And adultery is not a good thing. And what he did is bad. It is bad. It's definitely bad. It's for sure bad. But all of that being said, I think that it's fair to say that it's definitely, like, it's being sold as if this is like, like Diddy of Twitch or something like that. And again, like, maybe you guys aren't getting that vibe, but the way that this is framed and everything, this is like some kind of really, really bad action. Not married. Oh, right. They're not married, so there's no infidelity. But, like, I don't think that's what's happening here. I just think that this guy is obviously, he's a player. He's trying to hook up with a bunch of girls. He's basically just your stereotypical fuckboy, right? That's it. And I think that the problem is that, he created an image for himself of being this innocent e-boy, and he didn't do anything wrong, and, like, he's shy and embarrassed and everything. But actually, he was using this to take advantage of people. Now, obviously, that's kind of bad, but I think that on the spectrum of that, it's very low, right? And so I think that we should reserve such, descriptions for people that are way higher on that spectrum, right? But that's it. And Easy Sue claps some of the girls. Yeah, and that's about it. And that's the way I feel about it, at least. The girl clarified some stuff on Twitter. If you want to look at that, by the way, she got community noted. Well, I will look at one other thing about this, okay? I saw this when I went down to check the bathroom. Sykkuno was spotted on a date with another girl just days after he was exposed for cheating on his girlfriend. The game never sleeps, boys! On to the next one. Yep. There it is, man. Yeah. It never stops. Check the bathroom. I guess so. For the love of the game. Can't help himself? Yeah. And damn, doesn't give a fuck? Yeah. And wow. That's crazy. Yeah, never stop closing. I guess so. These girls are not victims. One of my friends was a victim of rape. These girls are not victims. If you want to get caught up in the vocabulary with that, I don't view, like, you think it's a victim, like, oh, you're victim of a crime. That's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that term. I do have a problem with predator. I mean, obviously, this is all circumstantial, and it's just my opinion, right? I'm giving you guys my opinion. It's not like this is written down in the law. It's just that, like, I mean, when I think of predator, I think of somebody who, like, is, like, messaging, you know, 13-year-old girls or something like that, right? And trying to meet up with them. Like, that's what I think of, right? And so, I mean, that's what I think a lot of people think of. And so, like, that's the reason why I think there's a bit of a difference, right? At least the way that I see it. But it's my own internal definition of it. But what a crazy video. What an insane fucking video. I'll link it to you guys again. And very well put together, too. And I'll talk a little bit about it, but other than that, I want to call it a day. It's a little bit late for me, and so I wanted to make sure I did a longer stream back, because obviously I've been banned. And so I do feel fine. I think that, you know, like, for, I mean, all intents and purposes, I'm probably going to be back on tomorrow, same time as always, as usual. But I can hang out and talk about this maybe a little bit more and, you know, get into it then. But I will say that there's a lot of guys that are streamers that do stuff like this. It's very, very common. And I think actually not only is it very common, but it's one of the main reasons why guys want to become popular and well-known. I think that's the main reason, is that they want to take advantage of this opportunity, right? Because and the truth is that there are a lot of girls that, if a guy is well known and popular, assuming that there's no, like, extreme circumstances beyond that, there are, you know, girls that want to get with it. Like, I mean, status for women matters a lot, and it doesn't matter for all women, and obviously, but I think that in a general sense, it does matter. So, even you? Well, no. But, like, I'm saying, like, I mean, if you're, like, a normal person, right? If you're a normal person, he's a normal guy. Like, I've seen a lot of my friends' DMs and stuff like that. Like, they get tons of girls that message them all the time. But, like, yeah, status is pussy. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Cloud is so insane whenever it comes to attractive women. Yeah, definitely. Girl streamers do it too, honestly. Well, I don't know about that. So, primal urges, does eating feel weirder with more teeth? Not really. It felt about the same. Does adult women choose to live in a fantasy? They were also manipulative, but he's a prick, 100%. Yeah, no doubt. So lying about a cat is making a victim? I mean, you're intentionally misunderstanding the topic. There's no reason to even discuss it with you. So, Clive just said in an interview that he gets married women in his DMs weekly. Yeah. There's a lot of, like, I mean, if you're even slightly popular and you're even slightly well-known, you will have, and like, you know, you're, I would say, even average looking, right? Even average, and especially if you're above average, I mean, obviously. But if you're like a high status guy, you're going to have girls that are throwing themselves at you. They're going to be messaging you like crazy. And so you have the opportunity to do this. And by the way, that's the reason why a lot of guys want to be famous. That's the reason why. That's the main reason. Like, if you ask a 19-year-old guy, why do you want to be rich and famous? That's probably the reason why. That's how it is. Watch SGC on this. I'll look at that probably tomorrow. I'm not going to look at it right now. When girls talking about you, no, I don't really have that happen or anything, but like I would say that I'm definitely like a large level outlier, right? And for obvious reasons. But like in general, I think it's true. Like, I've talked to other people too. Funny how Eric Swalwell turned the tables on. Yeah, it was funny. Apparently he suspended his campaign too. I'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm a degenerate. Yeah, exactly, right? So, you gonna fish right now in Crimson Desert? Absolutely fucking not. So, yeah. I'd have you back, you man. Congrats on a new thief. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Check the comments on the video. Well, shit. Just goes to show you a golden retriever is still a dog. That's clever. I like that. Now girls like, fuck you for cheating on your wife. You can still talk to me, though. Yeah, because I mean, welcome to clout. Like, I mean, these girls will do anything to be with guys that are high status. They will. And they will debase themselves, degrade themselves, and have literally no sense of self-esteem to be with a guy that's high status. And not all girls, not all the time, not all guys, but in a lot of cases, it's true. What's the next on-stream game for you? Windrose. It's not going to be tomorrow, but it's the other day. Is it wrong to hate clout chasers? I think it's wrong to allow people to... I mean, there are parts of it that are wrong, but, you know, it really depends. I think it depends on, like, how you're doing it. That Mal girl also laughed and Charlie Kirk was killed. I don't know who that is. I have no idea. I don't really care, honestly. I don't give a shit. This is DGen, I understand. Yeah, exactly. You get your Dragon Net in Crimson Desert. I beat the entire game. Beat the entire game. Doesn't have to be with fame. I work with quite a few high-level concept artists and their partners are gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, it's just status. Like, status and success and, like, having that be respected is what matters.